It is in the Champagne Rugby Podcast. Tony Lyall and Sam Smith.
Hello, I'm Sam Smith.
Joining you to talk about all things Rugby World Cup. And the big news out of France at the moment is that James McOnie was supposed to be joining us, but he has taken a huge dogan in the bed and he has not accounted for daylight savings time, so we'll have no French correspondent today, unfortunately, Sam.
And a message for James McOnie, you can go fuck yourself, buddy. We don't need you. Although we will be hearing from him later as well, won't we?
That would have made more sense if I'd been like, he's in France, he's ditched us to go to dinner and he's off eating escargot. And then now you would say...
Yeah, I could do that. But we didn't really need that, did we?
No.
I was fine without it.
It was all right.
Yeah, okay. I enjoyed it.
All right, lovely stuff. What a weekend of rugby. It only just really wrapped up 2 days ago. But no All Blacks this week. And to be honest...
bloody waste of time.
Well, I did miss it. I massively missed a game.
Missed our boys. Missed them smashing teams left, right and centre, except for the France game.
I could have done with a real minnow hiding from the All Blacks, but it wasn't to be. But there were some minnow hidings, which is always a bit of a treat.
I bloody love a minnow hiding. People are saying, no, we don't. Why are we playing all the really good teams against all the minnows? Because it's hilarious to watch grown men who have dedicated their lives to the sport be absolutely trounced by other people with a better setup within their country for the sport of rugby.
Yeah, and there was no better example than the French game against Namibia, 96-0.
Was it that?
It was 96-0. What an absolute pantsing. They pulled their pants down. They spanked their little butts. They said, fuck off back to Africa, you Namibians. And they really humiliated them. Nearly 100. It's been a while since I can remember a game where it's got... it used to be like that all the time, right, in the World Cups. Like when
143-0 against Namibia was the record. Who was that? South Africa?
And then none. I mean, even we were like, 70-something to 6 against Namibia, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And France were like, hey, hold my escargot, and then boom, they ripped into it.
And they said, now you guys can escargot fuck yourself.
Boom, there you go.
Yeah, that one was better.
Alley-oop and a slam dunk. The big news out of that game, of course, is a facial injury.
Oh my God. So Antoine Dupont. He got ponted in the face, and now he's fractured your maxilla?
I don't know.
It is. I'm telling you that.
I am maxilla Antoine Dupont. You killed my family.
And now you've fractured my face. Now prepare for me to wear a mask in the quarterfinals. That's what he's working towards.
Wearer of a broken face, fathers who are broken also
He's going to look like the Phantom of the Opera. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so he's had surgery, I believe.
Yeah.
He's returning to the team in time for the semis, they reckon.
I saw him say on Twitter that he was aiming for the quarters.
And he's actually going to wear a mask.
Apparently, yeah.
We all wear masks, metaphorically speaking. From The Mask.
Yeah, that was
great
Jim Carrey, right?
movie, if you're wondering. This is outrageous. What sort of mask is he going to wear? Like a scream mask?
No, it's going to be like Hannibal Lecter. You know, the ones where it's like I'm putting my head over my mouth right now. Like a full mask that covers like your eyes down, including your nose. Because your maxilla is the bone above your teeth.
Are you being sincere?
I'm being absolutely sincere. He's going to look like a crazy person.
Surely that's not allowed. Like, you can't just wear...
Well, if you're going to be tackling that, you're going shoulder first straight into that guy's face, right?
Yeah, well, it seems outrageous. You can't just wear like a... Why isn't everyone wearing these... You're talking about American football.
Yeah, basically. Not like a grate, like a flat plastic that is molded to your face. So it's not quite as sticky-outy like the American football grate.
He's going to look grotesque.
He's going to look crazy.
It's genuinely like a Phantom of the Opera mask.
He's going to shape it into a beak so he looks like a cock. Like a French cock.
You know those masks that they wear in like the theatre back in the day? Oh no, maybe it wasn't in the theatre. Maybe it was like when there was the plague or something, and they wore those big masks.
They had like beaks that went forward. I think those are there was something about how that was keeping the plague away.
Yeah, because they like didn't reek or something. Everyone was dead and decaying and dying because it was a horrible time to be alive.
They thought it was smell that caused the plague rather than airborne bacteria.
They really subscribed to the notion of those who smelt it dealt it.
Those guys were dumb.
The thing they were dealing with was the plague.
Yeah.
They were idiots, really.
They were absolute idiots. Like, they didn't have TV.
They did have gnarly shit to deal with, though, because, I mean, we had...
Name 5 things.
Well, they had the bubonic plague to deal with.
Yeah, but we already talked about that.
Yeah, but also, we had the global pandemic of COVID-19, which compared to the bubonic plague wasn't that gnarly.
Yeah, true.
And we still all shat the bed.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Okay, take it back. Sorry to all the listeners back from...
They had the bubonic plague. They had... Vikings.
17th century.
They had...
I think Vikings were earlier than that.
It's hard to say. I don't think anyone really knows. Tyrannosaurus Rexes are running around.
That was in 1993 with Jurassic Park.
You know what's weird? Is that the people who invented dragons had no notion that dinosaurs existed.
Is that true?
Well, how would they have possibly known?
Oh, yeah, because dinosaur bones weren't found until like 18 something, 1837.
And they just happened to draw basically the exact same thing as fucking dinosaurs. Are you kidding me? This is the greatest coincidence.
That is incredible stuff.
I can't believe no one's ever brought this up.
Can you believe that the dragon is the national animal of Wales?
Yeah, it seems outrageous.
It seems crazy. The national animal of England is the lion.
Yeah.
Which is definitely colonized from Africa.
Yeah, well, that's their whole thing.
Definitely. And then the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn.
Is that true?
Yes.
No.
Yes, it's true. That's their national animal, and it's not even a real thing.
I like how you say the unicorn isn't real, and you sort of glazed over the fact that the dragon is...
The Komodo dragon is real.
Oh, the Komodo dragon.
Yeah.
So you think that's what they're taking lizards and making them... It just seems outrageous.
It is outrageous. You're absolutely right.
Well, Antoine Dupont, injured, broken face, wearing a mask.
I hope that he sings songs from the Phantom of the Opera during it, because some of those songs are bangers.
Yeah, I only really know the main one where they say the Phantom of the Opera out loud. That's the only one I know.
No more talk of darkness.
No, thank you.
Look at these white.
It's not a sort of podcast, unfortunately, Sam. But
let's do a musical theatre podcast.
There's a lot of debate around whether the coach is a real goose for keeping his star player on the field in the 54th minute. I think he said he was going to take them all off in the 55th, like a mass switch around of the players, because the talk is if Dupont didn't play that game, he basically would have a month with no games because unlike the way we've got it, where we've got one game off in the middle, France sort of have it. So if they didn't play that one, and then they wouldn't play for a whole nother week or some shit like this. So they needed him to play. But, oh, man.
See, I understand that, but you don't, like, he can, instead of playing a 96-0 game, he could have gone for a run.
He could have gone for a run.
He could have gone for a run.
Yeah, it's
like, it would have been basically the same.
Certainly risky. And he'd also, if you play fantasy, he'd already racked up an incredible 100 fantasy points in the 54 minutes he played, which is fucking outrageous. That's like 3 times more than other players score in an entire game. So surely he's done enough. And watching the game, it reminded me of, I played rugby in the South Island, and in the younger grades, I think we've talked about this before, there'd be players who were just big, and they were just absolute, because there wasn't a whole heap of incredible rugby players. So if you were good, you would just carve up and score 16. And it reminded me of that. I was like, looks like...
Was that you? Were you that guy?
No.
How many tries did you score?
Well, I had one season where I was held back a year because I'm born in December, so I'm only 10 days too young to play up a year. And one year, the team above us had too many players, so I was drafted down, and I carved up that year. I had a lovely year.
How many tries did you score?
I would have scored about a dozen.
Oh, my gosh. Tony Lyall.
Coming off the back, number 8, 5 metres out. As a large 10-year-old, impossible to stop.
Oh, fantastic.
It was my glory days.
Up against children. I love it.
Well, I was also a child, so it's legit.
Well, you were 10. They were 9, so
that is the big news, really.
Stuff.
Antoine Dupont. And, I mean, it's also crazy because there's no talent. Like, sure, he's going to wear a mask and saying he's got his face fixed, but it's like Tim Southey for the Cricket World Cup. You've broken a bone and you've had surgery, so there's no real telling. It's not like you go, I'll 100% be better or back to normal. It's all open, and people are saying, oh, this is devastating for the tournament. And my personal take is, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I think it's great that he broke his face.
Namibia did their job. This happened to people go, oh, well, there'll be an asterisk if France don't get through. People go, oh, there'll be an asterisk because they didn't have Intermac and they didn't have Dupont. And I say, no, 100% not, because in 2011, when Dan Carter got injured, if France had won the final, no one would have said, wow, hey, they didn't have Dan Carter or Colin Slade or Aaron Kruger. They would have just said, eat shit, New Zealand, you lost, France won.
Eat le shit,
Nouvelle-Zélande. Je m'appelle
eat the shit.
Yeah, they would have said that. Well, they would not like exactly that, but
they
you know
would
what
have
I mean.
said, be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Shari, and we'll provide the rest. That's from Beauty and the Beast.
I didn't enjoy that.
Have you not? It's a great movie.
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Please do. It's really good. Available on VHS.
VHS even.
Yeah.
There was, of course, a game prior to that game. We sort of just jumped straight to the high-scoring thrashing that was France-Namibia. And that was actually, if anything, it's more related to the All Blacks. On Thursday a week ago, Italy played Uruguay, and Italy won 38-17.
Yeah.
Italy, of course, the next team to the All Blacks will play, and basically our whole World Cup rests on this game.
Yeah, so if we beat Italy this weekend, that's great. But I just want to do a shout out to Uruguay because they're better. They're better than they were. Uruguay used to be a team that we used to be like, yeah, that's our 100-point game would be the game against Uruguay.
Yeah.
But they're better.
Well, they are better. They're still quite bad, but I guess it's not like it's a national sport or anything. They're giving it a red hot crack.
Yeah, I think, shout
And
out.
Italy, I mean, that's something we kind of imagine Italy as being quite shithouse because historically they have been, but, let's not forget they came so close to beating France in the Six Nations this year. I think they were maybe 1 or 2 points off. This isn't the Italy team that used to get kicked to death in the street like a dog every single time.
Imagine if we did that. Imagine if they re-legalized kicking the other players to death.
Oh, it's always been frowned upon.
Yeah, but if they re-legalized it, then we could do it.
Re-legalize it.
Yeah, come on, guys. If anyone's listening,
come on, guys, re-legalize.
I'm doing the warm up for the leaders debate this very evening. That's what I'm going to talk to Chris Luxon and Chris Hipkins about. Whoever gets to be the Prime Minister, I'm going to make them re-legalize kicking the other team to death on the field. And that would get the viewers back in.
Yeah, that's what we need. Rugby is in a dire state of affairs when it comes to viewership.
The U in rugby stands for UFC now.
Oh, I think that the U stands for Ultimate in UFC.
Oh, what? Does it?
Yeah.
Ultimate
Fighting Championship.
I was saying rugby stands for rugby. Oh, I'm going to make up an acrostic for rugby right now. R, rugby. U, UFC. G, gee whiz, I like rugby. B, ball. Why? Because I got it. Is that pretty good?
I didn't hate it.
I did that off the top of my head.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I loved the why because I got it.
I think that's a mask thing, right?
P-A-R-T-Y, because I got it. Yeah, it is. Who would have thought the mask would come up twice?
Double reference in one episode. This is the podcast for all your musical theatre / mask / rugby
I'd like to
needs.
distance ourselves from the musical theatre chat. That's
bloody love musical theatre.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. So Italy versus Uruguay, we'll go back to that game. That is the game that New Zealand will be playing this week. We'll talk about that soon. The teams are yet to be announced for that. I think we'll come back to that and address the idea that the All Blacks
address?
We'll have to get... Well, no, we won't be in
we'll be wearing a dress when we next talk about the upcoming games.
And a dress. But yeah, Italy versus Samoa, Italy winning. And, I guess staking their credentials as a mid-range team, beating Uruguay. Argentina, Samoa, a game which I think we both agreed that Argentina would win. I was hoping that Samoa would.
Yeah, I really like the Samoan team.
Yeah.
And I really wish they got better results. They got someone got red carded in it. Can you confirm that?
I don't know about that.
Someone got sent off. There was something about that game.
Well,
it's hard to remember all the games.
This is the good research that we do here and the good notes we take on the Champagne Rugby podcast, where we come in and Sam says stuff like, something happened in that game.
Yeah, do you remember something happened in that game? It was a rugby game. I remember that.
Yeah, they certainly were playing rugby.
It's because there's like 12 games, and that's hard to keep track of.
They do blend into one.
Because, luckily they wear different uniforms. Otherwise, I would have no idea.
Via Fafita was sent off in the Tonga game. Are you getting Tonga and Samoa confused again like last time?
No, I don't think so. I didn't get them mixed up. Anyway, I'll come back. I must have mixed it up with something in my head. Do you know what?
What?
I'm mixing it up from when Scott Barrett got sent off in an All Blacks game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always think of Scott Barrett as
If it's a red
Samoan.
card, it's always Scott Barrett.
A very Samoan name, Scott Barrett.
I really connect with the people of Samoa because the first 3 letters of my name is also SAM. So
I think you did that joke last time.
I know. It's called Reincorp. It's also called... No, I got nothing.
Nailed it.
I'm only good at freestyling raps about rugby.
That win,
Argentina, go Argentina. I like them.
Well, that win's really set Argentina up to be number 2 in their pool.
Yeah.
Which
Number 2.
Number 2 in the pool as well. That means you got to clean out the pool. Someone shat in the pool. Everyone out. I was at the pool once, Point Erin pools here in Auckland, and someone vommed in the pools.
What?
And we had to get out.
Why would you?
I don't know.
When are you ever in the... You just wouldn't go swimming if you were feeling poorly like that.
You know, your family goes to the pool, you get excited, you spew.
I'll tell you what, I've been to that pool once and it was minus 1,000 degrees. It was the coldest thing I've ever experienced in my life. My body turned to ice and I shattered into 1,000 pieces.
Well, you've recuperated well.
I have. I stitched myself back together using some uhu glue.
I love it. I love the image of stitching yourself together using glue.
Yep. Because it was so cold, the glue had frozen into a sharp spike, perfect for threading.
Oh, that's lovely stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I enjoy that. But that means that Argentina, most likely to be one of the 2 teams that the winner of the All Blacks Ireland quarterfinal plays.
Yeah.
And
which
we can sort of get into the draw prediction a bit later, but... I don't know. I'm starting to think losing against France was a great option.
Well, yeah, it's pretty good, except for we might be playing the greatest rugby team at the moment.
Who? The Chokers?
Are you Ireland? You're going out? You're saying that Ireland are going to choke?
Yeah, let's get. We'll talk about predictions soon. Let's get these games out of the way. That's a tease.
We're getting excited for the.
This is my huge prediction of the Chokers that are Ireland, and we'll get into that later in the game. Now, this is the game, Sam. The next game that I think was one of the games, probably of the tournament.
Yep.
Georgia, Portugal.
Oh my gosh.
18 all.
Portugal? Where the hell has this come from?
I know, it's wild stuff.
Portugal, they've been talking to Cristiano Ronaldo or something like that, who's giving them all the hints, Georgia are a great defensive team, and Portugal, they've run in 18 points against them.
Yeah, was a crazy game. 18. I actually didn't know what the vibe was with a draw in the pool stages. I wasn't sure if you need to go to Golden Point and whatever, but turns out they're satisfied with it just being a 18
Everyone gets
draw.
2 points.
Georgia and Portugal probably both fucking stoked with that, to be fair.
I think Georgia's upset about that. Georgia would have wanted a win out of that.
You'd say it's on Georgia's mind?
Yeah, I think Georgia would have...
Georgia's on my mind?
Oh, that's really good.
Thanks, Sam.
Da, 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 da.
I thought you'd like that. That was just for
Da,
you.
da, 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 da.
Yeah, so
that song goes.
I don't know, just great stuff. It was one of those games which is the beautiful thing about the World Cup, where it was the sort of lower ranking teams scrapping for a win, cheering each other on, very excited, and you just love to see it.
So Portugal's better at rugby than Spain. That's cool. Oh, no, Spain got kicked out because they cheated. They fielded ineligible players.
Yeah, it seems like a bit niggly as well.
And then Portugal is stepping up, taking the opportunity and smashing down Georgia.
Yeah, they smashed them down all right. Speaking of smashing down, England, 71 points. Chile, 0 points. And
this is why we watch rugby.
Yeah, that's tough. That's
to
a tough
watch
pill to swallow.
Professional rugby players destroy teachers and plumbers and Chilean farmers, and just watch them get absolutely trounced at the sport they've dedicated.
Could we do with one less team purple?
No, because then we wouldn't have because then the Rugby World Cup wouldn't go as long, and I like it how it goes for quite a while.
Do we need the Rugby World Cup to go as long?
I think the Rugby World Cup should take all year.
I think the Rugby World Cup is 1 week too long. There's a week off. What are we fucking doing? It's outrageous.
I know, it's because people are smashing their bodies into each other for 80 minutes.
One team has to play, the notion of the tournament dictates that one team has the first weekend off and then plays the rest.
Yeah.
And so if one team can take a week off and play the rest, let's just drop one team out of every pool and everyone just play the rest. This is bad planning. This is how people fall out of watching the Rugby World Cup.
See, I disagree. I reckon we add another team to each pool. and then everyone plays every week. And everyone plays at the same time on the same
Another
day.
team. Who are they going to be playing?
Spain, Russia, other teams.
Nice.
I just named 2 off the top of my head, and I only need 2 more.
You just said 2 other countries who have awful teams.
Well, yeah, because there aren't any better teams than rugby. It's not a secret that the USA has an amazing team that is better than
This is what
Ireland
I'm saying.
at
And the
moment.
teams that are in the tournament are shithouse as well. So we've got 71-0 against Chile.
Let's put in let's put a second New Zealand team in.
It should be like the Football World Cup, where it's super competitive to get in, but not everyone gets in. We don't need all these teams.
Tony Lyall, it is. That's what it's like. Spain didn't get in. The USA didn't get in. Canada didn't get in.
And imagine if they were in, it'd be 150 to fucking 0. We can drop out 4 teams.
That's a great idea. I love those
richer
games.
tournament for it. Shorter. It's a better spectacle each week. The games are tighter. It's a better option. And then instead of having weeks where we don't play for a fucking fortnight, the All Blacks fans are like, oh, I'm sort of half invested. I'm not watching for a fortnight. The game I watched before, we had a week off break. We won by 70 fucking points. This is what is wrong with rugby. I need to get in there and light some fires under the asses of World Rugby, to be honest. Because as a product, it's not competitive to watching the World Cup, which is, beautiful football against other teams, and they're all nice and tight. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but
I disagree with you. I think it's perfect the way it is. I like the way that New Zealand gets a rest halfway through the pool
and
games.
so do the viewing public. Everyone can go watch other things, focus on other stuff, lose interest.
And then we can come back more interested, more to watch us play Italy.
Come back and go, oh, shit, I thought this was over. Oh, okay. I missed 3 or 4 games.
I thought we lost when we lost against France in the first round, and we're still here.
The momentum is just fallen out of it. But we will be back. Sorry, I'm just...
I really like it. I enjoy rugby.
Airing of grievance.
Because I like rugby. I like the Rugby World Cup, so I like watching the games.
Well, obviously, I like fucking rugby, Sam.
How come you're a big whiner, though?
I'm trying to make it better, the product better. If we just... Obviously, there's issues, and we'll get to those soon with the fall from grace from Australia. I think if you say that rugby doesn't have issues at the moment, mate, you got your bloody head in the sand.
Can I
you got your head in the sand?
Can I shout out to very good?
Thanks, mate.
Shout out to Matt Heath, who was on your television show, The Project, this week, saying basically what you just said. But he said the problem is that we don't have enough songs, and I was like, there's a great banger of a song out there. It's called "It's in the Bag, Boys." It's the perfect song for supporting our boys, the All Blacks. It's in the bag, boys. It's in the bag. Find it online.
The next game of the tournament does have a direct result for the All Blacks, and this was the game of the round for me. South Africa, Ireland.
Oh my gosh! Can we like to be very serious about rugby here for a second? Like, this is a massive deal. What the hell were South Africa wearing? They were wearing like some sort of pastel-y
I hated it.
Baby white thing. I hated it. I got confused. I guess it's 2 green teams up against each other, but light green, dark green, you can tell the difference from that. They're quite different.
I said the exact same thing to my wife when I was watching the game. So it turns out that that's actually South Africa's backup kit. Because their backup
I hate it.
Their backup kit is they were basically in white. A full white top with a couple of... But their backup...
It was like a green cuff around the neck.
So the backup kit has that green that was around the neck in like sort of checks all over it. But they deemed that to be too similar to Ireland's main kit.
Green.
But also, Ireland's main kit was fucking awful. For some reason, they had got... I don't know where Ireland decided to wear like this very, very, very light green. Like, they look like a green screen. God. Ireland teams of old, it's been a darker green and a more, I don't want to say masculine green, but it's definitely a darker green. It's a very weird
Ireland's
green.
wearing a lighter green, South Africa should have worn something darker. They should have worn a dark grey.
A black.
With maybe green things. A black!
And they knew what's crazy is they've known they're playing Ireland in the pools forever. It was awful. So there's new colourblind laws that have come in that show basically the limits that teams can wear when it comes to their A and B jerseys because they're trying to make it more inclusive, the sport. Because I'm colourblind, and honestly, sometimes I'm watching teams and I'm like, I have no fucking idea who's who.
Incredible.
It's impossible to tell when the jerseys are kind of similar or if it's like dark or blue and black sometimes. And I'm like, who is who?
That's the big one. Whenever we play France, but we normally have to wear
it's pretty easy just to chuck a white shirt on.
Yeah, just go skins and shirts.
Yeah, just go nude.
I reckon people would love to watch that.
I'd watch it.
You're
right. The shit's horrible.
They were disgusting. In fact, I can't even remember what happened in the game. Who won?
Ireland won. But
that's good.
Surely when you're making a shirt, you're making it, to have the team wear it on the day, but also to sell to the fans.
Yeah, exactly right.
Who's going to buy
That's how they make that buck.
those horrible shirts?
I will never, ever wear an Ireland shirt or a South Africa shirt.
Oh, what about St. Paddy's Day?
What?
On St. Paddy's Day,
That's cultural appropriation. Absolutely not.
No, not dressing up like a leprechaun.
I will never dress up as a leprechaun because I respect them too much.
What if you have Irish heritage?
I do have Irish heritage.
Then it's legit.
Nah, I'm not going to do it.
Then go full Irish.
On St. Patrick's Day, I wear an All Black shirt because I support the All Blacks because I am a man of New Zealand. I'm not coming around with your leprechauns and your Lucky Charms. I'm here at home playing rugby, doing some farming, and just
repressing your feelings. Yeah,
all my feelings.
Nice.
Just keeping them down there so that I can one day break out and like stab a guy.
I like to wear a shirt on St. Paddy's Day that says "Kiss me, I'm shit-faced."
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
I like that one.
Yeah,
but that game, that sort of means that we're most likely to play Ireland in the quarterfinal if all goes to plan and we beat Italy, which, you know, if we don't, then we don't deserve to be anywhere near the Rugby World Cup anyway.
We've literally never lost to Italy ever in the world, so we should be good, I think.
And it's also, I don't know, a lot of people are saying South Africa's this great team. A lot of people are still really scared of them, and they're right to be. But this is their second loss this year. Their sort of 7-1 split, which everyone has been jizzing on about, sort of was shown to be a bit of a flop.
Yeah.
Ireland played almost this exact same game that South Africa have been known for, just the
box kick,
smashing it up the guts. I'm sure South Africa did miss a lot of kicks at goal, but they sort of just outplayed them at their own game.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And low scoring, 13 points to 8. If I was the All Blacks, I would have been watching that game thinking, we're a chance here.
Okay,
it's pretty unimaginative rugby. It is effective, massively effective, and it's been the style of play that has, you know, broken the All Blacks in the last couple of times that they have lost. But I don't know. I feel like expansive running rugby up against that, if you're able to get the balance right, all bets are off.
I'll tell you what, though, that game was like a final. That's the kind of the final. Whenever you watch a final, it's always shit. Like it's never this nice expansive game. It's always driving it into the ground from 60 minutes to ensure that you win by 1 point against France in 2011.
Yeah. The only exception is the 2015 final with Australia, but that is because it was two Southern Hemisphere teams
that have played together 9,000 times.
And is there not any greater, I guess, illustration of the different way of which the Southern and the Northern Hemisphere plays, and the way with South Africa moving up north, their game has changed. Well, I wouldn't say changed, because they've always been very inclined towards that sort of game, but they've really fucking embraced it now. Yeah. And they're going full hog into that Northern Hemisphere style.
Yeah.
And we're obviously stayed here, which does make you worry, doesn't it? That you're like, oh shit, Southern Hemisphere, we bet on the wrong horse here.
I tell you what, like if the Northern Hemisphere doesn't win this World Cup, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. Because at the moment, like, France and Ireland are playing pretty damn good. South Africa and New Zealand are playing not so good. I'll tell you what, my money's on the All Blacks to win.
I'm still backing the ABs.
Yeah.
I still back them.
I think they're great. I think they're going to, against Ireland in our quarterfinal. We'll get to this.
Yeah, Scotland and Tonga was the next game. Tonga just basically ran out of puff, really. Yeah. Scotland just kicked on. And
I think good. I'm pro Scotland. I think they are not getting. They've been so unlucky in the pool that they've been put in. If they were in pool C or D, they would be going through to the quarters.
Yeah, and I don't know what happens if Scotland beats Ireland. Does that mean that they go through?
They're probably still. See, I think Ireland. We'll have to have a look at bonus points and things, because it depends on whether they've. If Scotland beats Ireland and they're on the same number of points at the end of that, then Scotland would then go through over Ireland.
Yeah, it's a hard one, because they've so far Ireland have played 3, won 3, and got 2 bonus points out of the 3. Scotland played 2, 1-1, and they've got 1 bonus point. So I don't think
so. They have to beat Ireland with a bonus point. No, they've still got to play old mate Romania.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I think it's so, and you think as well, if Ireland, you can't say, oh, we need to worry about Ireland in the quarterfinal, and then also think they might lose to Scotland.
Yeah. Wow. Wait, so if Ireland did purposely lose to Scotland,
I don't think they would go through.
I think they still would, right?
Well, it becomes a bit of a 3-way fun fest because you're automatically ranked by who you beat in the pools, but because...
That's only if you got the same number of points as them. It's points first.
Correct.
So if you get a bonus point...
But then if it becomes all 3 teams, Ireland, South Africa, Scotland, on the same amount of points, and then they all beat each other, then it goes to plus minus and Ireland creaming it.
Yeah.
So I think it would be still Ireland.
So if Scotland beat Ireland by like 60 points, then Scotland's going through.
I think by 130 points.
I think even if they get a bonus point, that would...
Yeah, 130 points. So it seems unlikely. I don't want to...
Imagine if it is. It was like in the Football World Cup that year when Brazil played Germany, and it was like 7-2 or something like that.
Yeah, it was brutal stuff.
It was amazing. I watched that live.
I also watched that live. Last game of the round, and this is probably the one that has the people talking.
This is the one everyone is talking about.
Wales.
Oh
man, speaking of chants, how good was the Irish crowd singing the Cranberries at the end of their game?
Oh my gosh, it was fantastic.
They were really going for it.
There's nothing I love more than crowds singing. I think it's fantastic.
What about your children?
Oh, children second.
Wife?
Wife third. The fourth thing I love...
Seeing someone fall when they're exiting a bus.
Seeing someone fall when exiting a bus. The fifth thing I love is when choirs sing pop songs. They sing it in a really funny way. Like, do you know what I mean, right? Oh, singing's great.
Are you talking about like that TV show, the movie where they sing like a cappella stuff?
Oh, no, not like Pitch Perfect stuff. No,
Perfect.
I mean like groups of old women singing like famous pop songs. Like, is this the? That's a bad. I was going to do Bohemian Rhapsody, but that one kind of sounds like that anyway. What's a famous pop song? Name anyone.
I don't know. Poker Face by Lady Gaga.
My poker face, my poker face, my pop. It's funny. It's just funny stuff. It makes me giggle.
Yep. It's good to know.
What are we talking about? Oh, Australia, Wales.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. I love the fact that Steve Hansen went over to Australia to help, I'm doing air quotes, Eddie Jones, and he's just sunk him into the ground.
He really pissed right into their fruit salad, and it was just an absolute hiding. Australia were hanging in there for a while, and then the second half came, and who would have thought, having no experience to bring on and a super inexperienced team, is that when it came to the crunch, you would capitulate. It almost seems like an obvious sentiment that has been shared since the start of the World Cup.
Yeah, it's almost as if the things we were saying and everyone has been saying came true.
It's crazy. Australian rugby, people are saying, oh, we shouldn't rejoice in this, like it's bad for rugby in New Zealand if the game isn't strong in Australia. And I do agree with that, but also... shove it up your ass, Australia. Just for a second. Just give us our fun little moment to go, shame, you didn't make it out of the pool. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. But then, obviously, there's huge problems in Australian rugby.
To be fair to Australia, like, rugby is their 9th sport.
Yeah, but there's fucking 20 million of them or something.
Yeah, they do have the numbers, don't get me wrong. But it is so funny that Wales... I think 9 people live in Wales. Is it something like that?
No, maybe not even that.
Like 8 people.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The players have to wear 2 jerseys to cover 2 positions each, and they beat Australia.
Yeah,
who have won the World Cup twice.
It's massively humiliating. Wales have a great track record of knocking teams out of the World Cup. I think 2019 they knocked France out. 2015 they knocked England out. 2011 they knocked someone else out. So
Wales is a great rugby team.
They really are. Oh, they must have knocked whoever lost the other quarterfinal, the quarterfinal for them to get through to the semi-final.
Gavin Henson.
In 2011. But
Charlotte Church.
They used to, you're just saying Welsh people.
Yeah.
Di Henwood.
Is he Welsh?
James Nikise.
Yeah. Is he Welsh?
Yeah. Who? Di Henwood.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
Yeah. Duffeth.
Yes. And
I'm going to buy some of his keto gummies, though. They sound cool.
I know they do sound pretty cool.
Just shout out to anyone who did see that.
Di
Henwood is not selling keto gummies.
No, I think,
he's been deep faked, and they tried to, I haven't actually seen the video for you. I really want to see it.
All I saw was the story saying that it had happened. I thought, it does sound like something he'd sell. I'd believe it.
I'd believe that he would sell out, but yeah, I don't think he's selling keto gummies.
So no Australia in the quarterfinals for the first time in the tournament's history.
Oh, bless.
Michael Hooper, God bless his soul. David
Rennie is...
No, but he didn't take like the kick a dead body sort of route. He was like, I'm part of this team. It really hurts. You know, these are my mates.
He's such a good dude.
I was playing 6 months ago, and it's crazy he wasn't there. Everyone's just saying it the whole time. It's crazy he's not there. Even... You know, Quade Cooper, Bernard Foley, these players who have a huge amount of experience.
Yeah.
Who, and I'm not saying
provenly cool, calm under pressure.
I'm not saying they would have turned the result around, but it wouldn't have hurt. And then the fact that their first five who they had chucked in, who then they decided he wasn't up to it, so they put another guy who doesn't even really play first five in, and he's their first choice, first five in this scenario. Nick White is basically the only guy with any experience on the park, and James Slipper, who gets dragged after 50 minutes. It's an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And he's obviously, got to go. You can't imagine that he's going to stick around. Crazy talk of him taking an interview with Japan Rugby.
Like during the thing?
At the start. If that comes to light, then it's absolutely wild. And the whole thing just stinks. There's the head honcho of Australian Rugby who pulled Dave Rennie out to start with. I mean, surely they've all got to go.
Like the fact this happened in a World Cup year as well. Like Dave Rennie is a smart rugby coach and has been forever, and he builds up to things. He would have had a plan. Like Australia wasn't playing great at the time, and that's fine. But if you're building up to a World Cup, you're trying out different things. The fact that he just didn't, that whole plan of his got derailed, and Eddie Jones chucked in. Oh my god!
Yeah, the only way I can make sense of it is if Eddie Jones saw the stock he had and thought, this World Cup's a goner. We're not going to win. I'm here till 2027, which is when his contract ends. Yeah. So I'm actually going to target next World Cup completely and admit this one as a write-off. And he would have had to, I imagine, have that in paper with the board and say, listen, I'm really don't think we can do this one. Next one's the target. I'm going to bring these new guys in. So they've played one, and then we're going to invest in this group for 5 years' time in 2027. And that's the plan. But we are going to lose this one. If he said that and it comes to light that that's what's happened, then that's the only possible way that I can see that. But if he's saying, I think we can win this one and bring it in that team, then he's got to go. Yeah,
I agree with that. But I think that the thing you want experience in is being in finals. Like you want to play those games that are must-win games. But I guess now that's every game, and he's got to get luck on his side to get through, because I think they can still make it, right?
Well, no, I think Fiji would have to lose both their remaining games, but against...
It's mathematically possible, but it's never going to happen.
Yeah, they're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
It's just, and I don't know whether to be happy or sad for a guy like Michael Hooper, where at least he hasn't been tarnished by this campaign, where, the players they had, who knows whether he being there would have made any difference. So if he was there and they lost awfully, it would be another hard part in his career. And he's completely scot-free now. He can say, I was nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about Eddie Jones. And so we're going to throw to James McOnie, our man in France.
Oh, he's done something for us, has he?
No one's heard this, so God knows what he's going to say.
Oh, God.
So here's James McOnie's take on Eddie Jones and Australia.
Eddie Jones is pretty loco, isn't he? You've seen him and, the negativity. All you guys, I just need to wash the negativity off me. Can't stand it. Worst press conference ever. Just keep it coming, guys. Let's see how we go. Well, they were terrible. The Wallabies got absolutely pumped by Wales. Side note, how good was it to see Gareth Anscombe win man of the match? Probably wasn't expecting to play too many minutes in this World Cup, but damn, Bigger goes off early in the game and Anscombe comes on, kicks a lot of goals, and does a lovely assist with a little chip kick there. I think in the second half. But anyway, Wales, Gats, just fantastic to see, really. Chiefs mana all over this World Cup, if you count Gats and Anscombe there, and then, of course, Bundy Aki and James Lowe doing it for Ireland against South Africa. So that's one big thing. But really what Eddie Jones has probably proven is that he's a bit of a charlatan. He's been able to turn up and have success at England. Japan, obviously, they beat the Springboks, and he used that as a springboard to the England job. So that one game equalled going to coach England, who had some generational talent in that team. You know, the likes of Itoje, Farrell, Tuilangi, the Vunipola brothers, Courtney Laws. You know, there were just so many good players in that side. So, but Eddie Jones got a lot of credit for them making the final, and fair enough, he was coach, but it was a big coaching staff, wasn't it? John Mitchell, defensive coach, you know. It wasn't their defence good, but of course John Mitchell had a bit of a run-in with Eddie Jones. Johnny Mitch wanted to go and watch Darryl play Test cricket at Lord's, first big test for him at Lord's, and it was his day off from coaching England. He was in at the RFU HQ. He'd done all his work. It was his day off anyway. He's just getting his ducks in a row so he could go and watch Darryl play. And then Eddie was there and said, "Where you going, mate?" And he said, "I'm off to Lord's. My son's playing for New Zealand." He goes, "No, you're not." That's Eddie. There's plenty of work to do here. And Johnny Mitch goes, "No, come on. It's my day off. I'm going to Lord's." "No, mate. You got to stay. We've got heaps of work to do." And I think, allegedly, Johnny Mitchell said words to the effect of, "Fuck off, mate. I'm going to Lord's. It's the Black Caps, okay? This is the fucking Black Caps. Get out of my way, you little greebly shite." And so he walked off, and he mightn't have said greebly. And he walked off, went to Lord's, and next day, cut from the England coaching staff. That's Johnny Mitchell. That story has been reported and refuted and denied, but I think we can probably accept that Eddie Jones does move in weird ways, and there's been a few decisions that you just say doesn't quite add up. I was quite surprised that after he said, "I take full responsibility for the defeat," that I know the Aussie journos went hard on the fact that he, or the rumour that he'd interviewed for the Japan job. But I thought that if he said, "I'm going to take full responsibility," I would have thought one of the Aussie journos would have at least said, "Well, if you're taking full responsibility, then why are you not resigning? Because surely that equals full responsibility. That's the only way to take it." So obviously the press conference did get a bit testy, 1, 2, and Eddie threatened to walk out, but he's sticking around. I think they've got Portugal or something next. Anyway, they are toast. And the Wallabies, there's people saying, this is the weird thing about this defeat, is that a lot of Australian media, world media, is saying, rock bottom for Australian rugby. And it is pretty bad, I think, for the Wallabies in particular. But I tend to agree with Bernard Foley, the first 5, one of the players they left behind. And he said it didn't have to be this way. Totally agree. If they kept Dave Rennie, who had success in the past year, they'd beaten the Springboks, they'd pretty much had a technical victory over the All Blacks with when the French ref had that little dispute with Foley and told him to hurry up and kick the ball out, and then that turned into a loss. And then they only lost to France by 1 point. I think they lost to Ireland and that was a last-minute try as well, last-second try to the marvellous Damien Pernot, the big old winger. And then they lost to Ireland by 3 points. So under Rennie, they were doing really good things. They were building. But yeah, there were a couple of losses that they managed to, well, the boss or the chairman of Australian Rugby, Hamish McLennan, who's kind of emerging as this shadowy puppet master figure, the man who wanted Eddie Jones to take over. He had enough there to say, well, wait a second, you lost to Italy. That's never happened before. So, the win-loss ratio is not good, doesn't feel like we're trending in the right direction. And whatever he said pretty much went. And so he installed Eddie Jones, who's been an utter disaster and pretty much does not make sense. So I know Eddie claims to know rugby better than any of the people in the media or whatever, but I just feel like he's probably one of those head coaches who's relied on the expertise of his deputies to help him succeed. And of course, he didn't have the pick of his deputies because that was the start of the talent drain, was the coaches leaving. And of course, he decided to go for a young team, the perfect excuse. But there was I think he ignored maybe 10 or 12 players who had tasted at least a little bit of a success with the Wallabies and were part of Rennie's plan. And so I think Eddie's ego got in the way, and that's what you've got now, a Wallabies team that actually were on the decent side of the draw. And if Eddie had just stayed in formation, not panicked too much, maybe just built on what Rennie had done, realised, if he was smart enough, realised that, hey, there's the nucleus of a good team here. Don't have to go crazy and throw everything out the window. But he did. So rather than build on what Rennie had done and stay on that good side of the draw and maybe jag his way into a semi-final, he's now made history as the first Wallabies team to not make it out of the group. So there you go. That's Eddie and the Wallabies. I think that, they're in trouble rugby just simply because league has had such an amazing season. The NRL have had way more, what would you call it, like tight games, ding-dongs, ding-dongs, barn burners, doozies, and, just some really, really tight games, mainly because I think they've ironed out a few things. The introduction of the Dolphins has made a difference. By the way, did I mention I had potato dolphin nose for dinner? Anyway, that dolphin died for a good cause because those potatoes were delish. So league is on the high, and they're already grabbing talent, as we know. I mean, that's part of the reason why the New Zealand age group rugby teams aren't doing so well, because the NRL scouts come over, they watch a lot of the secondary school rugby competitions, and they pluck and scout and poach the best talent. So Australia's got that exact same problem. There are reports out of Australia that Joseph Suoli'i, who is the young Roosters winger, who is a schoolboy sensation, the one who's signed to go to rugby for $6 million or something, or $5 million, and they're saying that he wants maybe a get-out clause. But I think that's just that guy, Buzz Rothfield, the guy who kind of looks a bit like Death Warmed Up on NRL 360, just stirring things. Because, to be honest, if they got the band back together, they got some of Rennie's lads, the Wallabies, who are doing well, who are building towards something, I think they'd still be competitive again. You can see how rugby's changing. It's like, Ireland are a superpower, and they're doing it with people like Bundy Aki and Jamison Gibson Park, in the case of Jamison, he struggled to, start a game at Super Rugby at the Hurricanes, and I think he might have been at the Blues for a while. And you look at him as well, now he starts ahead of Conor Murray, an all-time great Hall of Fame rugby player. So this is the thing, things change. Rugby isn't what you thought it was. The pecking order's changed. Who you think is great at rugby? Bundy Aki was not getting close to the All Blacks, and now he is. He's been man of the match in every single game he's played. He looks, and he is world class. That's an amazing success story from him, Rewa Hard. So there we go. Those are a couple of, what's the other issue? Oh, yeah, the All Blacks. The All Blacks, of course, yes. The All Blacks have to play Italy, and I think Italy is sneaky quite good. Not too bad. I think they've got a good first five. Alan, is it Tommaso Alan, Paolo Garbisi, and number 12 is a really good player. And the Canoni brothers, no relation to me, to the McOnies, but the Canoni brothers who are at lock and number 8, they're exceptional, really young, but amazing. Kieran Crowley, of course, is their coach, the former Taranaki and All Blacks fullback. From my experience of working down there in Taranaki for the Daily News, Kieran Crowley doesn't say much. He's what I would call the quietest of the Crowley brothers. And so I'm not sure what he does in the team talk. Maybe he just gets the old horse's head out and just says, this is what's going to be in your bed if you don't perform tonight. But he's got them going quite well. Of course, we're expecting, though, the All Blacks to pretty much dominate in Lyon. Or, there's going to be, I guess, a little bit of awkwardness, but all the sort of all the signs do point to an All Blacks win, but I think it will be tricky. In fact, I think Italy are just a couple of years away from being absolute giant killers and maybe competing a lot closer in the Six Nations. They always just, they get a victory once a year or something like that in that competition. But anyway, that's Rugby World Cup.
Oh, yeah, there we go. James McOnie. I actually have no idea what he said, but I imagine knowing James it had something to do with cheese.
I agree with everything he said.
Even the really racist stuff?
I thought that he did not nail, explain the vibe of Paris.
Well, that's what people want to know. People want to be able to imagine themselves there.
Yeah. And he made it sound a bit too rugby-focused. I think there are other things going on in France at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's wild times all around Australia. What a shit show. But they'll bounce back, hopefully. And speaking of bouncing back, we do have another weekend of rugby football.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Coming
the big
up.
Weekend.
We really do. And the first game is a Pool A game. It's Uruguay, Namibia. And, I mean...
This is Uruguay's game to win.
Yep.
They're going to show how good they are. I reckon this could be a bit of a blowout, really. I'm thinking like a 40-50... Let's give Namibia 7.
You think Uruguay, Namibia, they're going to really pile it on?
I reckon Uruguay will, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they...
Because again,
have fun.
Uruguay is good now. People are forgetting this. They're good. They just have played against the greatest rugby teams of all time so far.
Yeah, and Italy.
And Italy, yes, of course.
And they also lost comprehensively to Italy.
It was 38-17. That's a pretty normal score name.
It's fine.
Yep.
Japan, Samoa is the next game. I think that's going to be a humdinger.
This is going to be a humdinger, absolutely. Because whoever wins this round very solidly gets third spot.
And this is the tier of rugby that this is where I think the bottom end of the World Cup should be, is that Japan, Samoa, that intensity. That's the vibe that I'm looking for. That's
going to be a cool game. They're ranked roughly similarly at the same time. Samoa are a great team. Japan are a great team. Japan hasn't shined as much as they did in the last World Cup. Haven't shone. Did I say shined? Yeah, nice. They haven't shined or shone, but they should, because I think their flag is a shining star, a shining sun. Is that right?
Yeah.
The House of the Rising Shone. No, the Land of the Rising Sun. Yeah, I got there.
That was painful.
You are?
Fair enough. I think Samoa are going to win that game, is my pick.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is Samoa's one to go. Go the boys.
Then on Saturday, the New Zealand All Blacks are playing Italy.
If Italy win this game, I will eat my hat.
Yeah,
This is New Zealand's game. Go the boys. It's in the bag. 3 tries to my boy Scott Barrett.
Scott Barrett.
Yeah, I know. That was surprising,
I'm genuinely surprised.
I think he's great.
I think that it's going to be... This is where the World Cup turns around for the All Blacks. I think they're going to put on a clinic.
Yeah, 48-0.
I think, crazily, we're the sleeping giants of this World Cup.
Yeah.
Where all the other teams, they've been playing these big games, been beating us.
We're legitimately the underdog.
Yeah, I think that this is a game where people are going to go, oh, that's right, New Zealand is still here. Yeah. Here we are, we're basically anointing Ireland as the new Rugby World Cup champions. But this is a good New Zealand side who this season have played some of the best rugby they've played since the last Rugby World Cup, probably. The game against South Africa is a great example. When we put the Wallabies to the sword, there's been little glimpses of it, and I think this is where our tournament starts. Book the fucking limousine. I am excited for this game.
We're having Champagne Rugby at 8 a.m. on Saturday.
It is 8 a.m. and you can listen to that on the ACC. We're bringing you coverage on iHeartRadio and also on Radio Hodaki, so turn into that. It's going to be
lovely.
A lovely time to be alive.
You got a score prediction for that one, T. Lyall?
I think New Zealand by 50.
Okay, I've seen New Zealand by 48, so cool.
Okay.
If it's by 49,
that's
that'll be
outrageous,
hilarious.
by the way. I think 50 is so many points, more than we're probably going to score, but I'm just trying to be optimistic.
Yeah, nice. I like it. I enjoy it.
Argentina, Chile, the South American sort of...
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be doing the flamenco, whatever that is.
There'll be a lot. I think there's a Spanish dance.
Spanish.
Which is in Europe.
But they influence South America.
You could have done like a bossa nova.
What language do they speak in South America?
Many. They speak Portuguese and Spanish and English.
Spanish.
Si, senor. I was going to say that they're going to be eating a lot of meat. That's what they do down there in Argentina, and Chile beans. Lima. Like Lima is the capital of Peru, different country.
Yeah, different country. That's fine.
But do you know what's just off the coast of South America? Jurassic Park.
What?
Yeah. Have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
It's really good.
I agree. It's a good movie.
But rugby's going to be good as well.
I think Argentina will win that game.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that's happening in this World Cup, which is weird, is that we're not hearing so much Eddie Jones. We're not hearing so much Michael Cheika.
Yeah, because Michael Cheika is just chilling.
He's just chilling like a villain.
So people always said that Cheika was a good guy. They were
not me. He's a piece of shit. I hate him.
No, but the coaching circle would say Michael Cheika is actually a really good guy, but he's just presented with a tough situation. And now that he's taking Argentina through, I feel like he's a lovable chap.
Oh, no.
He's running this sort of Hare Island on the top of his head.
You do not fool me, Hare Island. I know you're up to something.
I like him.
He's going to redo the Falklands or something like this. It's going to be, yeah.
Fiji, Georgia's the next game.
Oh, go Fiji!
Fiji, honestly, there is a way for Fiji to make the Rugby World Cup final.
Totally.
100%.
They need to beat Georgia this weekend. Then they need to. Who do they come up against in the semi-final?
I'd say
in the quarterfinal?
they'll still have to play.
They have to play England.
It looks like England will be their quarterfinal if things carry through this way. But let's not forget that I don't know. I think there's something about Fiji and England where Fiji's style of play just bamboozles.
Yeah.
England's so traditionally forward-based, ruck-heavy, kick it. Where meanwhile, Fiji's like, things kicking it to us, we're going to run 90 metres and score.
See, this is the thing as well, because Fiji now has a kicking game as well. They're kicking goals, they're doing droppies, they're doing what England does. Fiji are playing England's style of game as well as their own style of game. Like, they're ones to watch out for.
They really are. And
I think Georgia, though, they might be feeling a bit hard done by from the game against Portugal, so they might come out absolutely firing, so it's going to be interesting.
And then if Fiji come through, they potentially playing, who knows, maybe South Africa in the semi-final.
Oh, boy.
The same thing goes. A Fiji rambunctious against South Africa. If New Zealand do not win, God, I would love to see Fiji in that final.
If New Zealand are playing Ireland, that means France is playing South Africa in the quarter-final. Holy moly.
It's a spicy meatball.
That is the spiciest of Italian meatballs.
A spicy French meatball filled with bratwurst.
Yeah.
Is that what they eat in South Africa? No,
that's Germany.
Krau. Is that what's called?
Brai.
Brai, there we go.
A croissant brai.
Yeah, brai. Yeah. I'm all jazzed up on brai. And the next game after that, Scotland-Romania. I mean, I'll still check it out.
Yep. Scotland please.
Sunday,
by a
8
lot of
a.m.
points.
So get up and watch that one. Scotland will win that one.
Just before church, we can go and watch that.
In the game that the whole of Australia is talking about, Aussie, Portugal.
Oh my gosh. Imagine the scenes.
No.
Portugal beat Australia.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think you need to waste time thinking about it. Australia will put them to the sword.
Yeah.
I think they'll bounce back. They'll be doing a lot of soul searching, and I think they will come good.
See, my brain says that that's going to happen, but my heart says that Portugal are going to beat them 12-10. It's going to be the biggest upset in Rugby World Cup history.
No, because the next game that week is going to be the biggest upset in Rugby World Cup history.
This
South Africa, Tonga.
Tonga to take it home against South Africa. That'd be amazing.
I love an upset. We haven't had a real good one.
No.
Because all the other games, like Fiji, Australia, is not an upset.
Yeah,
it's
that's not an upset.
It's just the favourite not winning.
But
Which I guess is an upset. But you know what I'm trying to say here?
Not even that. Fiji are ranked higher than Australia. Fiji,
Yeah.
that wasn't an upset. That was a normal game.
That was a normal game.
Wales, Australia are two very even teams as well.
We need a good
We need
old-fashioned...
Tonga to beat South Africa.
If Tonga beats South Africa...
You will eat your hat?
No.
Okay.
But I'll be very happy. I'll throw like my hat in the air and go, yahoo!
Imagine if Tonga beat South Africa. Like,
it would just be good vibes.
would that change the? Yes, it would. That would potentially take. That would potentially leave the door open for Scotland to.
Very much so.
Jump South Africa.
If Scotland were to beat Ireland, then they'd go through.
Oh my god.
So it's actually a spicy game. I recommend getting up and watching it. I think probably South Africa will win.
I reckon it's going to be an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah, but I'd love to see Tonga
But
unite.
probably like a 45-10 kind of game.
2011, Tonga beat France. France went on to play in the final.
That's true.
Let's not forget that fact. It's the fact that I always love to say.
Isn't that crazy? Because
Tonga lost to
France
Canada.
also lost to us.
Yeah.
France lost 2 pool matches and made the final. Is that right?
That is right.
That is
Tonga
bonkers.
only didn't go through because they
Lost to Canada.
lost to Canada.
Oh my god.
Outrageous stuff. And this is what I want to say earlier, is that the way things are setting up is that it's going towards a New Zealand-Ireland quarterfinal. I teased my Ireland to chokers plan.
Yeah.
They've never made a...
They've never won a playoff game in World Cup history.
They are where we were in 2011 before the tournament when it came to finals of the Super Rugby tournament. They're getting too jazzed up about it. They haven't found a way through yet. I think they're the perfect team for us to play. I think that when I saw them win, I was like, that's the result we wanted. We don't want to come up against South Africa too soon in this tournament.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think Ireland are just the team we want to be playing, the best team, and then we can come in and smoke it. And say, hey, remember us? We're pretty fucking good here.
I love how we're gonna play Ireland, and every try we score, we're just gonna be like, yeah, we're a whole team of Bundyarkees. Every single one of us is from New Zealand. Your best player is from our country, and we're gonna show you how to play rugby.
Yeah, Bundyarkee. You've got Mac Hansen from Aussie on the wing, James Lowe on the other wing.
My boy from Nelson.
It's a real sort of Avengers assemble.
They're a New Zealand team.
Yeah, for more or less. And
Ireland
I also
are
think
New Zealand A.
It's palatable to lose to Ireland should the worst happen.
Because they're 90% us.
There's no other team that you'd want to get knocked out of. Maybe Fiji. But for the All Blacks to lose...
I always feel a bit okay if we ever lose to Wales. I feel like that's okay.
Have we lost to Wales ever?
We did in 1963.
Oh, yeah, the one time.
Yeah.
Yes, the famous loss, of course.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't happening this World Cup, that's for sure.
Absolutely not.
We may well see them in the semi-final.
That would be fun.
But until then, I'm excited. Remember, you can tune into that All Blacks game this Saturday, Italy, at 8 a.m. on iHeartRadio and on
it's
Radio
going to
Hodaki.
be good. It's going to be watch. This is where we've had a week off. We've got this game against Ireland to maybe iron out some week off kind of nerves.
Mate, we're going to blitz them. We've had a week just doing truck and trailer at trainings the whole time. Just been doing passing drills. Down and ups, they've got their abs are going to be absolutely glistening. Their cum gutters are going to be deep. They're going to be coming in so hot. And, you better watch out, you Italian stallions. We're going to stomp you to death.
I'll tell you what, pizza's really good, though. So thank you, Italy,
good
for that. We really appreciate
I
that.
also like pizza. We'll go to the record.
Can I just say pasta is great as well?
Pasta?
Yeah.
I love
really
pizza,
good.
pasta, salad, and dessert. The whole Pizza Hut Works menu.
Very good.
Love it.
I'm very excited about that because as All Blacks, we've got to play Italy. That's sort of our big game, and then we've got to play Uruguay. Those are the two games we need to win. We need to win them, and we're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ireland's going down. Then who will we play in the semis?
Argentina or Wales.
Well, we're going to beat those every single day of the week. And then who are we playing in the final?
The world is our oyster, but potentially either England, South Africa, France, Fiji.
We could beat all these teams. We are the world's greatest rugby nation.
Yeah, shove it up your backside, the world.
Shove it up your ass, world.
Well, thank you very much for listening to the Champagne Rugby Podcast. We'll be back with you Wednesday next week.
It's in the bag, boys. It's in the bag.
Up the Blaz, as I've always been saying.
Up the Blaz.
Go the boys in black. We'll see you next week.